Good day, student. This is again your Sir DY to discuss another lesson. Alright, so by the way, class, for today's topic, we're going to discuss on how again to prepare our appetizer. We're now down to our learning objectives 2, 3, and 4, which is the following. Learning objective number 2, prepare a range of appetizer. Next, we have learning objective number 3, present a range of appetizers. Learning objective 4, store appetizers. Are you ready for today's lesson? Alright, definitely you are ready. Let us start. Alright then. So as I was saying a while ago, we're going to have our learning objectives. And now, these are the following learning outcomes that you have to have. Of course, this is also learning competency that you really have to master at the end of the discussion. Okay, so let's continue with our lesson. All right, class. To begin with, I have here a sample recipe of an appetizer. This is called salmon and cucumber bites. So we have now the tools and equipment needed, and also we have ingredients, and of course steps and procedure for us to follow. If you would like to try these ingredients or this recipe, should I say, this is actually already and really easy to prepare at home. Okay, so this is one of the good considered as appetizer and a kind of a presentation as well. Okay. All right. So further continue, I also have here another set of a sample ingredients and recipe. I have here preparing hors d'oeuvres, cocktails, and relishes. All right. So as I've already given here, this is actually have this tools and equipment needed and step and procedure for you to follow. Alright, so let's continue. Alright, so class, now we're going to have discussed. This is all about the shrimp and other cooked seafood cocktail. So we have our cocktails. Most commonly, the main ingredient being used here is the seafood. Alright, so we have here on the is the first one is to arrange seafood in steamed glass or in small cup shaped bowl in a bed of ice. Cocktail sauce may be put in a glass first and arrange the seasoned food or seafood rather on the top. Partially immersed or a cocktail sauce may be added as a toppings. Alright, so as we have the further discussion or the preceding discussion, I've already sent the what I call it example. What I mean is on our previous lesson. All right. So we have the first one then. All right. So we have second, of course, is for us to garnish and then to make the dish attractively with the lettuce or green lemon welch. All right. So we have that. So we have fruit cocktail. So first one we have here fruit that was really being used for a pleasant and of course tart and not too sweet. This is good example and good combination for our fruit cocktail. And we have cut fruits into desired shape, of course, for easy like it's considered a finger food as well. And number three, add fresh lemon or lime juice to fruit mixtures to provide necessary tartness rather. A simple wedge of lemon with lime is a refreshing cocktail. Add a few drops of flavored liqueur to improve the flavor. Alright, so this is something to do with a fruit cocktail and most important ingredient is the lime or the lemon. Alright, let's continue with this. We have the relishes. So we have here first on how to have a good presentation of relishes or so we have the first one is to select fresh English ingredients and next is to cut into sticks or other attractive bite-sized shape. It depends on our perspective or our own choice. All right. So we have here number three: hold vegetables for a short time in a iced water to become crisp. All right. So crisp. And then next we have arrange vegetables in a crushed ice to maintain the crispness. All right. So crispness, and of course, served with the dips. All right, so let's continue. So we have the fundamental of plating. All right, so under the fundamental of plating, the first element that we have to have is, of course, the balance. So balance speaks about this is um, the rule of good menu balance also applied in the plating or on the plating, of course. So select food and garnishes that offers variety and contrast. This is the two term to have in mind when we are talking about the balance, which is the variety and contrast. So this lesson about appetizer will really enhance our knowledge and skills to and also further understand the range of appetizer because appetizer is really pleasing to the eye in appreciation first. It's really the first that serves the customer's appreciation of how it becomes that present. All right. So because it will the eyes eat first. All right. So the plate presentation is a process of offering the appetizer to the guest that is really stylish and pleasing manner. It requires skills, style, and of course creativity. All right. So let us continue. So we have then all right, so we have, of course, the color. So two or more colors on a plate are usually more interesting than one. Garnish is also important. So that's a combination example. We have a green leafy vegetables and let's have it like color red, like a tomato or whatever some other ingredients we can add on it. All right. So we of course here the shape, so this is we have some shapes that we can cut into a dice into a smaller size, of course. So a plan for a variety of shape and forms, cutting vegetable into different shapes gives a great flexibility. All right, so next we have of course the texture. So this means about it's not really strict about visual consideration but important in plating in the menu planning. All right, so that is somehow we can really be correlating to a texture of our presentation in our fundamentals of plating. Next, of course, we have this is more important and of course it's about the flavor. So one of the factors to consider when balancing color, shape, and texture on the plate. Of course, it actually becomes a seafood. So it actually be a variety of seafood and of course the combinations and it actually have the sense of balance. Okay, we have to continue the lesson. So we have number two under for portion size is also important for presentation as well as for costing. All right. So the more quantity or the quality of a food, the more it becomes so costly. All right. So next we have much portion sizes and plate. Too small a plate makes an overcrowded, jumbled, messy in appearance. Or too large plate makes the portion look skimpy. All right. So next we have balance of portion size of the various items on a plate. It actually apply the logical balance of portion. And of course, arrange on the plate. So it actually depends on us on how we try to present it. It actually, if we have some symbolizers on it, that's really a good one. All right, so we have now come to the basic principles of platter presentation. So we have first here the three element of buffet platter. The first one is the centerpiece or the gross piece. All right, so it may be an uncut portion of main food item such as faith or a cold roast, decorated and displayed whole. It actually may be a separate but related item such as molded salmon mouse. Alright, so a centerpiece in a platter presentation, it could be actually the main dish on a top or on the center of a plate. Alright, so that's it. So the slice of this or serving portion should be arranged artistically. And of course, the garnish should be artistically done in proportion to the cat slices. Alright, so we have next one here. we have the food should be easy to handle and serve so that one portion can be removed without ruining the arrangement of it. So it's really a careful on this manner so you will not ruin on what you have been able to work on your garnish or your presentation for the food. Next, we have number three. A simple design is best. All right, so prettier or the more it actually becomes an ordinary, that's also gonna stand out among all the presentation if it becomes simple and that becomes the best. All right, so simple arrangement is easier to serve, more appetizing and still attractive when are half consumed by the guests. Okay, so that's the main reason. So of course, number four, attractive platter presentation may be made of silver or other metals or mirrors and china wares, plastic wares, wood or any other materials provided they are presentable and suited for the food. Alright, so we also have other types of cuisine that this really be applicable to the presentation. Alright, so let's have that. All right, to continue with this, we have number five. Once a piece of a food has touched the tray, do not remove it. Shiny silver or mirror tray are easily smudged, and you will have to wash the tray and start over again. Good pre-planning should be considered. And of course, number six, think of a platter as part of the whole. It must be attractive and appropriate to the other presentation in the table. So the simpler is the better on this. Alright, like next we have the designing the platter. Alright, so we have the first rule or the first step to do is of course plan ahead. Why? We actually have to plan ahead so we will anticipate what will be the outcomes of our hard work. Alright, so this is actually to make a sketch by dividing the tray into six or eight sections. This will help you lay out a balanced and symmetrical design and sketch should indicate the centerpiece slice of the foods and garnishes. Alright? So that is about the symmetrical design. Alright, so we have now the number two, get movement into your design. Good design makes your eyes move across the plotter following the lines you have to set up. It could be arranged in rows or lines. Alright, so let's continue. So we have now number three, give the design a focal point. Use centerpiece to emphasize and strengthen the design by giving it direction and height. Note that centerpiece is not always in the center. So that was being called a centerpiece because that's the main on the platter. But that could not only be possible in place on the center. Alright, so but please don't be confused of that one. Alright, let's have this. So keep items in proportion. Should always have a small portion on the other side, put a little bit on also on the other side. It will not merge or it could not be like small on all over the plate. Okay, so as well, apply the rule simpler is the best. Okay, so number five, make the garnish count. Use garnish to balance out the plate by providing additional element. Two items on a plate often look unbalanced, but adding a garnish completes the picture. On the other hand, do not add unnecessary garnishes. And one good note about this, once we actually try to put on a garnish, it should be really edible. Alright? So it's really clean and properly washed. And of course, it is edible. Next, we have to continue. We have number six. Don't throw every plate in a sauce or gravy. Alright, so it may hide color and shapes. You may cover a part of it or a band of sauce across the center. Alright, so we have also number seven. Keep it simple. As I am always saying just a while ago, simplicity is more attractive than complicated designs. All right, because in simple design, you can really see the details. You can really see how it becomes super, what they call that, superb, or how that really becomes um, the details is really into the food and it's really able to recognize by the customers or the client as well. Right, number eight, let the guest see the best side of everything. All right, angle overlapping slices and wedge slice pieces toward the customer and the best side of each side is face up. Okay, so as I am saying, let's have it uh, when we try to have a garnish, it symbolized our creativity. All right, let's have this. We have the storing. So once we speak about the storing, it's about now to enhance our what do you call that? When we try to store an example, we do the appetizer and some other ingredients are not being used, and we try to do the proper storing, it will actually be able to use by the um, future purposes as well. Alright, so example here, storing salad and appetizer is one of the most important activities done after preparing them to maintain freshness and avoid spoilage. Alright, so as I am saying, this could actually be able to be used on our next example activity or laboratories. Alright, so let's have the next one. All right, so we have other sorry to have been already inculcated here. So that is about the tools and equipment. All right, so we have the example here: the chiller, the refrigerator, container of a salad and appetizer. It should really be properly washed. These tools and equipment. All right, so we have this technique for the storage or storing rather. So the storing food could be done through the following techniques. Of course, for the refrigerator, to keep food cold or cool. Next, cold storage, the process of preserving the food by means of refrigeration. And of course, next one, the chilling to refrigerate the and to reduce, of course, the temperature of the food. All right, so that's how we deal with storing techniques. So of course, we have sanitary practices when storing salad and appetizer. So here are the following. So first one, handle the food properly to prevent spoilage and contamination. Of course, it's really very important. Next one is we have to wash utensils and equipment thoroughly, but we really need to be too careful about proper washing or trying even just to have a wipes on our equipment. All right, so again, it really have to be careful. All right, so next we have keep off hand to a minimum contact to ingredients and food, and we have to have our hand sanitized and clean always when we are really in our food industry. Next we have number four, keep away from food when you are ill or you're not really good because uh, we're handling food and it's really good to have. We have a good hygiene and of course we are physically fit. Next, we have store food and ingredients properly, of course, important. And of course, safeguard the food during distribution and serving. This is also may actually cause some contamination. Example, the food are actually hot or cold. It should be distributed well. So in order to have everything in organized manner. Okay, so we have in here to chill to refrigerate or refrigerate, of course, or to reduce the temperature of the food, as I'm saying a while ago. Next, we have to place it to cold storage like refrigerator to preserve the perishable food. Okay, so we have here now to we done to with our discussion for today. I really would like us again to thank you so much for listening and thank you so much. And I really hope that you learned something today again. And again, I just would like to say have a good day. This is again your Sir DY Wishing you good luck. Goodbye!